Hey guys, it's Ashley with Pugs and Pearls, and tonight I'm going to be doing a kind of tryout and test video with these new Precise e.l.f. brushes. So I bought, I believe 5 of them. Sorry, this is just 4. I bought this little guy here. And so we're going to use these just to put on my makeup tonight. I have the contour brush right here, which is this nice little squeezed one. I have just a simple eyeshadow brush, and again, these are clear with kind of like a nice grip on them. They've got 3 sides on this clear kind of acrylic part. We've got the blender brush, which is kind of uniquely pinched here and then has kind of like a round curved dome. I originally thought this would be good for blush, but it's actually really tightly packed, so we're going to try this blender brush for foundation today. And then this is their like multi-use like blender massager. I'm going to use this for warming up with bronzer today. And then of course the last one is this really soft and beautiful powder brush. It's very large. So we're going to go ahead and just play with these today and kind of see how they work, and you can kind of see them in application, and at the end I'm going to kind of tell you my first impressions. So guys, for first, I'm going to use this little NARS concealer in Custard. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put this underneath my eyes. And then I am going to use that first brush, which is that blender brush. This one right here, this is the number 103. And I'm just going to kind of blend that in underneath my eyes and just see how that works first. So it is a little big, but it actually did blend that out extremely quickly and extremely nicely. So guys, I have my foundation dotted on, and I'm going to start to use this blender brush to blend it all in. I'm really impressed. This did it fast, it did it quickly, it was nice and soft. So far, I'm really surprised at how much I liked it. I really like the application. I mean, it looks really flawless, almost better than some of my kabuki brushes. So I am so impressed. Now, the one thing that I hate is that these beautiful white brushes are gonna get really dirty very quickly, and you can kind of see how some of the foundation is starting to get in there and sink in a little bit. So, you know, that is always going to be a downside to having really pretty white brushes, but I really like the application. I really think it looks great. And I can tell the difference from some of my other brushes that I use to apply foundation. So I'm impressed because I really didn't expect much from this brush, but let's keep moving on. So guys, next up I thought we could try the eyeshadow brush, and again, this is just a basic shader brush. This is in the number 201. I'm going to be using my BH Cosmetics Bronze Paradise palette today, and I'm just going to go in with a few of these shades and just do some of my eye look. So we're going to do the most we can with this, and I'm going to zoom you in. So first up, I'm just going in with this nice little white shade. I'm going to use this as my brow bone highlight. I'd say it picked up pretty nicely. It seems like it's applying decently, nice and soft. Let's do the other eye as well. And again, you can't really tell, the shade is kind of just shimmery. So now we're going to move into the base shade, which I'm going to do kind of like this nice, pretty kind of glowy Tuscan color. And it seems like it's picking up pretty well. That's what it looks like kind of as I dug into the palette. We're just going to apply that all over the eye. Very soft. This brush is definitely easy to use. And again, shader brushes I feel like you can't really go wrong with, but really easy, seems to apply really well. And again, I'm just kind of putting that all over the lid, and I think it did a good job. It feels very soft as well. So I'm going to finish this eye look and get back to you guys with the rest of the brush review. Okay guys, so I just did my eye makeup. Let me give you a little bit more thoughts about this little eye brush. So I do think it's kind of a standard eye shader brush. You know, do you have to have it for $5? No, you can get some really good ones from e.l.f. for $1 or $3. If you like the packaging, I do think you're paying a little bit more for the packaging with this, but you are going to get, again, really, really dirty brushes very, very quickly. But it did a good job of just packing on that shadow, so it did pick it up, it did put it down. I even put some more in the inner corner with a different shade, and it did a really good job of kind of layering and putting those together. So I would say average. This is just, you know, your basic shader, nothing extra special about it, just a little bit more pricey for e.l.f. if you want a little bit of a different design from some of their brushes. Okay guys, now we're going to move on to the Precise Sculpting Brush, and what I'm going to do for sculpting today is I'm going to do this ColourPop kind of cream shadow stick for contouring, and this is in the shade Dove. So this is kind of like a cooler brown shade. I'm going to go ahead and apply this, and then we're going to see how this blends it out. Okay, so now that the contour is applied, we're going to go ahead and blend this out and see how it does. So guys, it definitely blended it out, but I feel like that shade is so light, it's almost like you can't even tell there's a contour. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over it with some powder, and I'm going to pull out some, and then we're going to go ahead and try it. So I'm going to pull out my Chocolate Soleil Medium Deep from Too Faced. This is kind of like a nice little bit deeper shade of a contour. So I'm just going to pop that on my brush, and here we go. Definitely a lot of product. We need to be careful. So going a little bit softer on this side definitely gives you a little bit stronger contour. So it's soft, but it's really firm, so that's kind of the things with these types of brushes you have to be careful with, is sometimes you have to really try hard to blend out, and sometimes that can take off your makeup. So guys, it definitely gave me a little bit more of a deeper contour. It took a little bit longer to build up, and again, I think it gives you a harsher contour. I prefer a lighter, more diffused, which to get a lighter, more diffused contour, you need something that's a little bit probably less tightly packed. This gives a very strong punch. When you apply it, it's going to definitely give you a harsher contour line. So I had to spend a lot longer blending it out, and then sometimes that can kind of take off your foundation when you spend too much time blending. So you definitely can see it, it's on, it works, but it definitely will give you a pretty strong contour with the shortness and the tightness of these brushes. So it works, it's just I'm not sure if this would be my favorite brush so far. Okay guys, so next up we're going to use the Multi-Blender Massager, which is pretty big. And not that we don't already have enough contour and bronze on my face, we're going to go in with the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula, and we're just going to bronze up this face some more. So I'm just going to dip in. I'm using this one because you can't really overdo this product, so it does pick up on the little bulbs of this, which is kind of weird. And then I'm just going to kind of tap it on in and blend out just around my face, again trying to give a nice little bronzed look to the skin. And again, this brush clearly covers a lot of area as it's doing this, so you're not going to get precise. Like, this is just really if you want to bronze up and you don't want to be precise about where you're putting it, I feel like, because it looks a little messy, especially on the hollows of my cheeks. I need to kind of blend it up a bit. But it can bronze up your face very quickly, like I said, just not precise application. So I'm just going to blend down my neck a little bit. And it's soft and it covers a lot of area, so not precise at all. But it's very different, something you don't normally see from e.l.f. Okay guys, and now we are on to the very, very last portion, which is the powder. Now I kind of, I'm doing powder last, which normally I would do that before I do bronzer, but since I kind of, again, added a lot to my face, I'm hoping the powder actually takes it down a notch. So this is the softest brush that I purchased. This one just seems to be so, so soft. And I'm going to use two different types of powders. The first one for this side of my face, I'm going to use the BH Studio Pro. Now this is a pressed powder, and then for the other side we're going to use a loose powder just to see how the application works, if there's any differences, and see what we think. So I'm just going to, again, pack on this one, and it's picking up. Oh, it's so, so soft. And again, it covers a lot of area very, very quickly. Okay, get the forehead, down the nose. So I would say that did a really good job of like doing it very, very quickly. It is the softest powder brush I feel like I have ever used. Then next up for the other side, we're going to use the Laura Mercier powder. This is a loose translucent powder. So again, I'm just going to kind of dip in and tap off a little bit because the stuff goes everywhere, as you can see. Wow, that also applied really, really beautifully. And it was quick and fast, which is really, really nice. And this is, like I said, one of the softest brushes I have used. Okay guys, so this is my final review on the 5 Precise e.l.f. brushes. These are the brand new ones that just came out. I love the packaging. I think it's really, really pretty. I do think the downside is all of your brushes are going to get really, really dirty really, really fast, which kind of annoys me because I like to not see the dirt. I just prefer that. But let's talk about individual brushes. First off, let's talk about the eyeshadow brush. So I don't think there's anything special about it. I think it works. It's nice. If you're willing to spend $5 on it, go for it. But it's just your average eyeshadow brush. It does the job, but there's nothing extra special about it. Second, let's talk about this multi-blender massager. I think it's really cool in design. It's really pretty. It's got a very sleek kind of packaging, but it really isn't anything that I think you should run out and get. I do think that it does bronze up the face, but I don't know. It's not like anything extra special either. It's just really cool looking. It will bronze up your face, but it is not precise. And I think that's a funny thing to note. This is called the Precise brush line. So it's not precise to me. This is more of just like an overall blender, which you can totally use, and it's decently soft and it works, but I just think it looks cooler than it actually does anything when it comes to application. It'll work, but it is not precise by any means. It's for large spaces. So if you want to do down your neck, easy. If you want to do under your chin, easy. But if you're doing precise blending on your cheek, you're not going to get preciseness out of this. Next up is the Contour Precise brush. Now it worked. I think it's a little too stiff and a little too tight for me. I prefer mine to be more diffused, but if you do like very harsh contours, this is really precise. I do think it is a precise blending brush for your contour. I liked how it actually blended my nose. I thought that was really, really good. This to me took a little bit longer than I had hoped because I like a more diffused look, but that's just me personally. It does do a very precise blending of your contour if you do like that. Next up, I think this is my favorite brush out of the entire collection. This is the Airbrush Blender. And this did such a good job at doing my concealer and my foundation. I felt like it just really made it airbrushed. Like I feel like I can totally tell a difference in how my foundation applies. It was soft, it blended things quickly. Very impressed with this one. I highly recommend it. Out of all of them, get this one. And then last but not least was the powder brush. I also really liked it because this is one of the softest brushes I have ever used. It applied very nicely both pressed powder and loose powder. I think it gave me another flawless finish, and it was really, really easy to get over my face and done with super quick. So that is my total review of these products, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I love trying e.l.f. products. I do think they're creeping up there in price. You are going to pay around $12 for some of these bigger brushes, so they're a little bit more expensive, but you're paying for the nice packaging. And I do think the quality of these is a little bit nicer than their average ones, so I do think the quality's there. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them below, and I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye!